Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. We are here, fourth quarter. We can catch all your perspectives from the fans. We're here. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk about NFL team needs, NFC and AFC East, and the NFC and AFC North. But once again, we got Craig's top five. What is going on?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Just getting ready for these playoffs.
Hey,
Getting ready for these playoffs, man.
some legendary matchups.
Should be.
This is. I'm not gonna lie. I've been waiting for this time of year. I can't wait for your picks. I think that this time of year is awesome, and we're gonna have some awesome matchups. I can't wait for your thoughts on them, man. Shout out, guys, who catch us on the podcast. Anywhere you catch all your live podcasts at. We are here. What is going on? Craig, NBA playoffs. The official seeds are in. For the East, the number one seed is the Boston Celtics. The number two seed is the New York Knicks. Very surprising. The Milwaukee Bucks, I think I called that out too. Milwaukee Bucks is the 3 seed. Cleveland Cavaliers is the 4 seed. Orlando Magic is the 5 seed. Indiana Pacers is the 6 seed. The 76ers is the 7 seed. Miami Heat is the 8 seed. Chicago Bulls are the 9th seed. And the Atlanta Hawks are the 10 seed. For the West, we have Oklahoma City Thunder in the 1 seed. Denver in the 2 seed. Minnesota in the 3 seed. LA Clippers in the 4 seed. Dallas Mavericks in the 5th seed. Phoenix Suns in the 6th seed. New Orleans Pelicans in the 7th seed. 8, the Lakers. 9, Sacramento Kings. 10, Golden State Warriors. The Suns escaped the play-in. Right? It's awesome. Are you surprised about any of the seeding?
No, I don't think so. I don't think nothing really surprised me this. And since the last time we did it, I think I had. I mean, it's like 2 or 3 weeks left in the season when we did it the last time, so it really wasn't much for. Like you couldn't really go wrong with a lot of these picks. I don't think so. I think everything kind of fell into place where it's supposed to be. I guess maybe. Well, no, I was about to say Phoenix, but Phoenix got the 6th spot, which I thought they would get. So I thought New York would get the 2. I did think maybe Philly would get into like the 6 the last time we had this.
Yeah.
With Embiid coming back, I just thought they would get there. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't really see too many surprises in the way that the seeding ended up. I think there might be some surprises in the playoffs, though. And we'll probably get them.
That's what I can't wait. That's what get you. That's what I'm waiting for, guys. I don't know if you know. That's what I'm waiting for.
I don't think nothing really surprised me.
Yeah. You know what I think surprised me, to be honest with you? I think what surprised me was I was surprised the Pelicans kind of haven't been looking like the Pelicans lately. I think that's been a little surprising. I know they're young, but I thought they were a better team. They finished 7th. And now we're gonna get to that. Now they're about to play in against the Lakers, who just demolished them. And I'm surprised with the Lakers. I called it out, but I was, we weren't playing good. And we've started playing good. Listen, I say this a lot. I say this to people. The good teams that you see win to go deep in the playoffs are the teams that have a winning record after the offseason. Teams that catch fire. Like the Mavericks. The Lakers been playing good. I think Golden State's been playing good. We're gonna get to them. So, Craig, speaking of tonight, We're going to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans and the Lakers battling in the play-in for the seventh and eighth seed. Because the playing games, guys, start tonight, and then the playoffs start the 20th. So right now, Pelicans versus the Lakers. Who ya got?
I don't even really. I mean, it's kind of hard to say you don't take the regular season into consideration, especially since the fact that they just played Sunday. So in a game where I think if New Orleans had won, they would have avoided the play-in game,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't even be in this situation. They would have had a opportunity to play Minnesota, but this is what happened. I watched some of that game until it just started to get out of hand, and I just turned and started watching UFL at that point. But um, New Orleans is a really solid defensive team. I don't know what happened in that game specifically. It's like some of their and they got Brandon Ingram back in that game. Maybe he just wasn't physically ready to play at that point at 100%. But now I think with the game under his belt, he should be able to. Um, and then you got Zion. The whole team pretty much didn't play like they pretty much played a lot of the season to get to the point where they were flirting with a 4 seed at one point. So to see them play in that game on Sunday and they get blown out the way they did, and it just started from right from the opening tip. It just was the Lakers just seemed like they the better team. So in a one game, it's hard to pick against LeBron, even though it's a road game. Anthony Davis, I think, is dealing with back spasms. I think he's still going to play.
Playing.
The thing is, if the Lakers want to win this game, because if they win, they get the 7th seed and they got to play Denver. They're not beating Denver. I just don't see it. So do they want to lose on purpose, end up going to the 8th seed, and then having to play a one playoff game against Golden State, which Steph Curry and the team that they had, they made like 26 threes in the last time they played, and which was insane. And they shot a good percentage as well, like 60-some%. Or they get to play De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, and Sabonis is pretty much killed Davis this season, so he's kind of owned them. The game would be in LA though, so that would be something they have in their back pocket. But you just run the risk of an injury or somebody getting in foul trouble or just having an off night, and you just don't. I mean, it's a one game, but if you win, then obviously you get the younger Oklahoma City Thunder, and you avoid the Nuggets until possibly the Western Conference Finals again. So that's the thing. I don't think the Lakers is going to want to lose on purpose. I think this LeBron. I mean, unless LeBron James comes up with the idea and says, "Look, coach, let's go ahead and it's got to come from LeBron. It's got to come from AD, basically. It can't come from the coaches. It can't come from Jeannie Buss. It can't come from any Rich Popelinka. It can't come from anybody like that. It has to come from the players for me. And if they come up with a scenario and they want to do it, then it's going to be tough. But I think LeBron James in a one-game playoff, win or lose at home for the 8th seed, I think it works out. But I just don't think they're going to do that. I think they have possibly the idea in their mind that they can win this series against Denver, get some payback from last year, getting swept. Some of those games were actually close. They went either way. It's not like they got blown out in every game. So they had an opportunity there, but it's going to be tough playing Denver in the first round. I'm picking LA just because I think they're going to win this game. I think they want to win this game. I don't think they want to leave up anything to chance and have to go play a single elimination game. But I don't know if it's in their best interest, I would say.
Okay. So, I watched First Things First. Shout out Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Kevin Wild. Nick Wright had this good, very interesting point, and I kind of agree with him. I think that the Lakers win this game. I don't want the Lakers to lose because I don't want to be in the situation where I'm playing Seth Curry, or the Kings. I think they go ahead and they know it. I think LeBron James wants to play. You gotta think if LeBron and the Lakers win tonight, they get 4 days of rest. I think we're healthy, and I think LeBron James wants to see a Denver team when he's fully healthy. And during the first round of the playoffs, you get the most rest in between travel games. So I think LeBron is taking all that into consideration, and I think he's like, "Yo, let's see if we can beat this Denver team fully healthy." And I don't know if they can, but I understand the mentality and mindset. Like, let's win tonight to get the rest and go against Denver. No, they might lose to Denver in 6 games. Like shout out to Moon. He said that. I don't know, but right now we're talking into the plan. But I think that's LeBron James is. We'll go over to that matchup when it comes. We don't know at this point in time if that's the matchup, and it's going to be very interesting series. But I do agree with you. I think the Lakers pull it out and they get rest. And we got to face Denver. We got to face Denver, man. Don't run from a challenge. And listen, here's the thing too. We face Denver while we're fully healthy, whether we win or lose. If we lose, we can see what we need to do to beat them at a fully healthy team. I do believe they're gonna try to get Trey Young this summer or Donovan Mitchell. I can see them doing that. Um, so we'll see. I think we'll look at that game when it comes up. But I think I see the Lakers winning tonight. I think LeBron James is playing absolutely bonkers. AD's playing so good. He's up for Defensive Player of the Year. So we're gonna see. This is gonna be. I think the Lakers win. Now the other playing game. I definitely want to hear your thoughts about this. Sacramento Kings versus Golden State Warriors. 10 p.m. I'm gonna try to watch the whole thing.
I'm not, but
Try. I just
I'm not gonna stay up for it. I'm going with Golden State. I think their experience. They've actually been playing a lot better the last
yeah.
pretty much since the All Star break. They've been playing a lot better.
Golden State has.
Um, I think the injury to Moody for Sacramento. I mean that hurts. I mean they started to slip up the last I don't know couple of weeks in the season, and they ended up going from making the playoffs and at least a 6 seed to now being in the play game, a one playoff game. Now they do play at home, and they played the Golden State Warriors last year in the first round. That was a crazy series, back and forth, high scoring. I just think that ever since Clay went to the bench, it seems like Golden State has figured something out with Clay on the bench and Draymond. Still, as long as Draymond doesn't go crazy, I mean, see what he was doing last year with Sacramento, got suspended. I think he kicked
the bonus.
somebody.
Was it
Sabonis? Yeah, I think he kicked Sabonis. So something like that, he just has to keep his cool, especially in a one-game playoff. You have an opportunity to get the A seed, and you're going to play Oklahoma City. Then I think you're going to play a team that's inexperienced, and you can use your experience to your advantage, and that's something that Golden State definitely has, even though they're going to be the team on the road for the whole home court advantage.
Do you think they're going to beat the Pelicans too?
I think they could. I think I want to see what happens. Obviously, I think if it's the Pelicans, I think I favor Golden State. If it's the Lakers, I probably will. Even though I think Steph and them can actually go into LA and win, I would probably lean more towards LA just because they have LeBron and he's playing great right now. And if the threes aren't falling for Golden State, they're going to have a tougher time, I should say.
I don't think they have
But I think they can get Sacramento. I don't think so. I mean, Sacramento can score, but the last couple of weeks have shown me something about him. Like I said, I think the injury to not Moody, Monk. I think that really hurt them because he was a real important bench player for them, especially last year in the playoffs. He was very important for them. So I'm going with Golden State to pull it out. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Warriors win this game and go on to face the Pelicans.
Man, I think I got Golden State too. It's going to be tough though. For Golden State to beat the Kings, I think it's going to be high scoring back and forth. I'm not going to bet against Steph in this game. They match up with the Pelicans. I don't know, Craig. Pelicans match up really well with them. They match up really well. I don't know. And then you say you think they could beat OKC?
I think they have a better chance of playing against OKC. Yeah, I think they can beat Oklahoma City. Like I would pick. Well, I'm not gonna get into it now, but I'll pick Golden State to win that series. Okay, since it's not even a matchup yet, I'll probably pick the Lakers, Golden State to beat Oklahoma City.
I would pick the Lakers to beat Oklahoma City. I would pick Oklahoma City to beat Golden State. I think Golden State run is over.
I'm not saying
they'll blow it up. Even if they beat OKC, they're going to lose in the second.
That's what I'm not saying they're going to win a championship. I'm just saying I think they can beat Oklahoma City because I think they have more experience on that team, just like they did last year when they had that experience and they were going up against Sacramento. The experience overcame the young legs of Sacramento. I think the same thing can happen in Oklahoma City. I just don't see them beating the Lakers with their experience as long as everybody stays healthy, and the Warriors with their experience as long as everybody stays healthy. In a 7-game series, in a 1 game, yeah, but in a 7-game series, I think the better team is going to win, and I just don't think it's going to be OKC at this point.
Do you think Golden State blows it up?
No, I don't think they need to. I think they just need to get some size inside and some solid players that can score and create their own shot. Besides Steph is really, I mean, Clay has never been that guy. He's really just been like a spot up shooter for the most part. But he used to play defense until he got hurt. Andrew Wiggins can sometimes do it, but he's just not consistent. He reminds me of like Harrison Barnes. Doesn't use it all the time. I think they need to just. I don't think they need to blow it up. If that's the case, then the Lakers should blow it up because the Lakers don't have
probably are.
The same situation.
They probably are. They probably are.
But I mean, you're saying the Lakers should add a piece, so they're going to add a piece.
You think Clay's going to come back? Clay not coming back. They said Orlando's going to offer him a money where he can start.
He can. I mean, he's not the same guy. I think he just works best within this system, which has been. I mean, okay. Well, I mean, go. Okay, I guess he could go to Orlando. I mean, it's not going to be if they go that route. Then yeah, you got to blow it up at this point.
This is the last of this version of Golden State.
I mean, it's been one of the best runs in NBA history.
It has been. It has been.
Especially in
it's time.
In like the last 10 years.
Yeah, it's time.
So
you got to maximize Steph's prime now. Steph is still playing at a good enough level. You got to surround him with some pieces so he can win a championship. You know what I'm saying? I think you keep him and Draymond, and then everybody else I think should be.
I think you could start Clay next year if he plays like he's supposed to play. He just wasn't. He was not playing like
he
Steph.
Like money. He wants starter money, Craig.
Huh?
He wants starter money.
See, he can get starter money. That's not a problem. He can get starter money. He just can't play he can't play like he was playing before he got benched.
You think Golden State's going to offer
starter money? You think if you want to be a starter and have starter money, you have to play like old Clay, and that's just not going to happen. I just don't see it happening anymore.
Yeah, that's why I think he's gonna.
So if anybody pays for Klay Thompson, I think they're going to overpay for him because he's not that same player anymore. He can give you a spot up like he used to, That's pretty much all he. That's all he did before. It's not like Clay was out there creating his own shot. He's a really good spot up shooter, and he used to be a pretty good to really good defender, perimeter defender. He can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I agree
So
with you. I just don't think he's going to be in Golden State.
he might not be, but I think Golden State should try to do everything they can to re-sign him. Just don't break the bank for him, because I think you can get somebody else in there if that's the case that can come in and play with Clay. I mean, come in and play with Steph and be a solid number two that can actually create his own shot and possibly play defense as well. But
yeah. I don't know, man. I think, and then what you do with Moody, Wiggins, they might.
Wiggins is actually starting to play a lot better. Wiggins is starting to play better. Kuminga's playing solid. They're getting some help from other guys. They're one of the best teams in rebounds. But they don't have any size.
They are the best team in rebounding. Yeah. They're number one in rebounds.
So
probably longer. But
they're just a scrappy team.
Yeah, but I think they're gonna, see who's out there. You know what I'm saying? Upgrade their roster. Because you gotta put players around Steph. You got to, man. You gotta see if you can get one more run out of him. He looks like he has it in him. He's playing phenomenal, but he just needs help. It's only him. LeBron has AD. KD has Booker. Tatum has Jaylen Brown. Jokic got Murray. He's you know what I'm saying? If he wants to compete with the title, he's gonna have to get another person.
That's on the organization. Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find. They're gonna have to. At this point, and I think they should. I think they I don't know if Steph's gonna win another championship. He might, but not with this version. They're gonna have to retool it, redesign it, and get him some help. So we're gonna see, man, because I don't know if they can beat the Pelicans. I don't know.
They got to get past.
I don't know if they got to get past the Kings first.
And the Lakers got to get
an easy task for them. You know what I'm saying?
The Lakers and the Pelicans. It's not going to be easy either. But.
Nope. It's not. This is gonna be a tough road for them. So we're gonna see how. But I agree with you. I think it's gonna be the Pelicans, and it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be live. That's gonna be a good game, man. I can't wait to see. Or the Lakers and Pelicans. But I think the Lakers are gonna, like you. I think they're gonna win. Push on. It looks crazy, like, oh, we gotta face Denver, but I'm not saying we would beat Denver. I think it'd be better than last year. I mean, you get to see how you get to measure up against a team that constantly is one of the best in the NBA. And you can see how you measure. And you guys are healthy. You're coming off rest. You're coming off a good winning streak. I just think and I get it. Colin Cowherd and J-Mac, they lose. They can lose tonight and then beat Golden State. But it's like, nah, why risk it, man? Let's just go all in, win tonight, get your 4 days rest, and we're going to see Denver. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? All right, 2 other games. We're going to talk about this one. Let's do the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks. Who do you have winning that?
Bulls, I guess. I'm not really looking forward to this game. I don't really care about this one, but I'm just good with the Bulls. I think DeMar DeRozan, he's playing pretty well lately. They had a chance to beat the Knicks on the road. They came up a little short. It wasn't going to determine the outcome of this, who they would play in the first round. I want to see what happens with Trae Young and them, because their defense in Atlanta is horrible. So they're one of the worst defensive teams in the NBA. So I just don't think they're going to be able to do enough on that end to beat the Bulls.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Trey Young came back too late. I think the Bulls are gonna pull it, pull it, pull through. Will I watch it? Maybe, depends on when it comes on. But that's just a matchup that is like, it's not as appealing as this next matchup. 76ers versus the Heat. Who you got winning
Mm,
that?
I'm going. I got Philly. I think they started to play a lot better, especially once Embiid came back. To my knowledge, they haven't lost a game. They won 8 in a row, so they went from 39 and 35, and they were just falling. They were maybe in like the eighth spot at some point, and they ended up still being in the seventh spot, tied with Orlando, who started to fall, and tied with Indiana. But I think if Embiid is healthy and he plays like he's been playing since he's been back, I think they're going to win this game. Everybody's talking about playoff Jimmy, which is playoff Jimmy when he shows up in the playoffs, which he does. I mean, he's just on a different level than he plays when he's in the regular season. But um, I just think that the Sixers are going to have a little bit too much for him. I know he played in Philly, and he said they shouldn't have got rid of him, so he has that, I guess, still going for him. But I think Embiid is back, and I think I got the Sixers, man. I think they're gonna win this series. I mean, win this series. I think they're gonna win this game and move on to play the Knicks.
Mm. Yeah, I think that I have the 76ers winning this game. And I think Joel Embiid came back at the right time. And before he left basketball, he was playing phenomenal. I think might be the health issue he's been in a while in the playoffs.
I mean, he just got hurt again the other
Yeah,
day.
well, Daryl Morey says that he did that. They sat him on purpose.
Sure they did. They said him because he got hurt.
But um, we gonna see. We gonna see if um, yeah. And he is listed. Okay, so they're questionable versus the Heat.
He's probably gonna play, but
'Cause right now he's questionable. He's listed on the report as questionable.
I think he's gonna play. But I mean, they gotta
Say he
try
might be a
to.
game time decision.
I mean, if he's not gonna play, then I got him losing. But if he's gonna play and he can be at least 80 to 85% of Joel Embiid like he was when he first came back, maybe, and he was on like a minute restriction or whatever, and he didn't have his win yet. I got the Sixers.
Yeah,
They're pretty much the
I
whole
agree
playoff
with you.
hinge on
Yeah,
Joel Embiid.
if he if he's healthy and play, the 76ers win bottom line. Oh, hey, we forgot Mo. Shout out to Mo. Mo said he got the Lakers in the seventh seed and Golden State in the eighth. He agrees. I don't necessarily know. I don't know if Golden State beats the Celtics. We're gonna see though. And he has Philly beating Miami, and then I don't think we need to talk about it, but Miami versus Chicago, I got Miami in the eighth. So that will,
Yeah.
yeah, I got Miami. I don't got them losing back. Not I don't got them. I don't got them losing to Chicago or I don't have Philadelphia. If Joel Embiid doesn't play, Philly's gonna Philly's gonna be the eighth seed. But I think Joel Embiid plays, and then you can get rest. You can get rest. So I have Pelicans in the eighth seed. Everybody else has Golden State, but we don't know. But these are the matchups we do know right now. Now I'm gonna start off with this one: Bucks versus Pacers. This has been a very interesting topic, and Giannis is hurt. He has calf. They said Luca had the same injury. He missed 3 games. So who do you have? Because I can tell you what Mo said.
I already. I have. I got. I got the Pacers. I don't think that the Bucks have just been a real disappointment. So I guess I'm not even gonna say they were a surprise that they ended up this way, but because they're still the number 3 seed. It's not like they fell down to like the 7th. And now if they fell down farther than the 3rd, I probably would have been surprised. But I just think that they've underachieved. I will say that they didn't even get 50 wins. Giannis getting hurt at the end of the season, kind of just like last season where he got hurt and he played and he got hurt in the playoffs, or he got hurt before the playoffs. Can't remember. And they ended up just getting 1 game. He came back. And this kind of feels like that same scenario. I think the Pacers are going to be. The Pacers should be the favorite. Even probably with Embiid. With Giannis, because I just think that their offense, the way they play offense, they're one of the best offensive teams in the NBA. They're horrible on defense, but they're really, really good on offense. And to the Bucks' credit, the Bucks are really good on offense as well. But when you don't have Giannis, then that just blows that all up, and it just takes it all out. And now you got to rely on Middleton, who's good, and you got to rely on Dame, obviously. But if Giannis is probably not going to be there at the start, I think they said he's going to be out at the start of the series, so that doesn't help. And you're going against, like I said, you're going against a team with Halliburton and Buddy Hield, Pascal Siakam. These guys, they put up points. So this is going to be a high-scoring series with or without Giannis. But with Giannis, the Bucks obviously have a better chance. But I got the Sixers. I got the Pacers. I keep saying wrong stuff. I got the Pacers. I got the Pacers winning this series as the 6th seed. And I guess it's an upset because they're the 6th, but without Giannis, I don't even think it is.
Yeah, that's the problem. The Giannis injury, and they have to be careful with it because of what happened with Kevin Durant. So this is a tough pick because if Giannis was healthy, I would pick him.
I don't know if I still would.
Yeah, that's what everybody's saying. But Giannis missing those games, I gotta go Pacers. I kind of agree with y'all, man. And the best availability is availability. Like you gotta be available. Man, it's the same. Listen, you gotta be available.
The best ability is availability.
Yeah, the best is you know what I was saying, but like if Giannis misses 3 games, I don't know if I don't see them coming back. And Doc is just not a good coach. This will be just what.
You know what's crazy is that
what I said, Doc's just not a good coach.
No. I was about to say, oh yeah, that. But what I was about to like, Adrian Griffin was 30-13 as the coach. Doc Rivers is 17-19.
It looks crazy. It looks
And then
crazy.
they had an interim coach go 2-1. So I mean,
It looks
why did
crazy.
they get rid of Adrian Griffin? And why do people keep trying to hire Doc Rivers?
I don't know.
Like he just
I
has.
don't
He's
know.
been a really good regular season coach. Like since he's won a championship in Boston, he's coached 16 seasons. Some have been like not a full season, or they've been like the COVID year, whatever they played 72. But he's had 9 of those. Oh, excuse me, he's had 11 of those 16 seasons where he's had a 60% winning percentage in the regular season. But in the playoffs, he's had from 50% or lower, he's had 9 of those 15 seasons, because this season hasn't started yet. And one of those seasons he's missed the playoffs. So he hasn't really done well in the playoffs, and that's what you measure coaches, especially a coach who has this type of, I guess, pedigree, or like keeps getting hired for some reason. I don't know why. I didn't like the hire that much when they hired him when they hired him this season.
No.
I didn't. I just thought the 30-13. I guess you want to be a better defensive team, but are they?
No.
I mean,
they're not to be. And
so
listen,
I don't know.
He had an epic collapse. You have Kawhi and Paul George healthy in the playoffs, and they collapse. That's crazy. Philly. This is crazy.
I just don't know why he keeps getting a job. I mean, I'm all for people getting a job, but there's got to be some other people out there that are qualified enough to give a look at it, instead of just going, oh, Doc Rivers is out there, let's go ahead and hire him. Please, get somebody else.
Yeah, because it's wearing thin, guys.
I mean, that championship is running from 2008 until 2024 when he won it in Boston. That's how, I mean, it goes back. That people just keep holding on to that, I guess. I don't get it.
They're holding on to it, and it is crazy how much they're holding on to it. Beating Kobe and the champions.
I don't know.
Get you a lot of jobs, man. That is crazy.
They just can't.
Years. That is a teenage person. A person was born in 2008. They're 16 years old. They're still holding on to that.
They got to figure something else out, man.
All right. Let's go to this one. Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Phoenix Suns. Mo picked Phoenix over Minnesota in 7 games. Whoa, what's going on? You all right? I know
I picked the Suns. Like last time we did this, I think I said the Suns will play Phoenix. I mean, Suns will play Minnesota in the first round at 3-6. That's what happened, and I picked Phoenix, and I'm still sticking with it. I'm just not as confident as I was, I guess, because I thought by that time, this was like a month ago, maybe, or longer, or whatever it was, month and a half, like right around the All-Star break, maybe. And I thought that Phoenix would kind of figure it out the second half of the season, or whatever not really half, but the second part of the season after the All-Star break. I thought they would kind of turn the corner and try to figure it out, kind of like what Miami did when they got LeBron and Bosh and Wade, and then they started out bad because you gotta figure it out, figure out how players work together, and then they kind of figured it out and they got to the finals. I'm not saying this team can't get to the finals; they have enough talent, but I don't think they are. But I just think that I thought they would be a lot better off and they would gel and just figure it out later in the season. There have been games where they just don't show up or they get blown out. That game where they were at home, the Clippers, they were down 32-4 at home. Then they came back the next night and they beat them in LA. I'm just like, what is this team? I can't figure them out. I can't. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with this team. They have 3, I guess, like a big 3, but it's just like sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. They need more help sometimes. I don't know. And then I look at Minnesota, and I don't know about Karl Anthony Towns. I definitely don't like Rudy Gobert, especially in the playoffs. He doesn't play well in the playoffs. I want to see what happens with Anthony Edwards. I think he's going to step up, and that battle between him and Booker should be really fun to watch.
Yeah, it is.
but I think I'm picking. I think I'm picking the Suns. I'm sticking with it. I'm just not feeling the. I'm not overly confident in the Timberwolves. I'm not really overconfident in the Suns either, but I'm taking Kevin Durant, I guess, and relying on his experience to get them to the second round.
Yeah, I think Minnesota was the matchup that they wanted. I think if I was them, I would want Minnesota.
They just blew them out last game.
But Minnesota, right?
Yeah, they blew them out.
I, um, I think. Well, here's the thing, and you alluded to it about Rudy Gobert is that the problem with Rudy Gobert is they're gonna spread you out, and when Kevin Durant comes out that wing and Bradley Beal and Booker, they're gonna spread out, and you got to bench Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert can't be in the game because of that. He's not like an AD who can come out on the wing and check somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a liability.
Yeah,
Rudy,
especially
can
if it's
you
so.
imagine Rudy Gobert switching on the block and he's on Kevin Durant?
I mean,
He's gonna get barbecued.
yeah, he's definitely a liability.
He's gonna come out to the wing. Kevin Durant is going to hit a jumper, and it's Kevin Durant going to with 35 points, 40 points.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. We're only down by 4, baby. All right.
Huh. Yeah, shut up.
All right. A very interesting one. I'll tell
So who
you.
you got Phoenix or you got Minnesota?
I got Phoenix. I got Phoenix beating Minnesota because I think the matchup is too good for them. If they lose to Minnesota, I'm gonna be irritated. I'm gonna be highly irritated if they lose to Minnesota because they should not.
I'm not gonna be irritated, but it wouldn't.
Be like,
It would.
it's
It
not
wouldn't
just
surprise
about
me.
looking good for KD. It would not surprise me. That's the problem, Craig. It wouldn't surprise you. That's to me, that's crazy because their play has been so erratic. It would surprise you if Minnesota beats. And then, like, what does that do for KD legacy? Like, Phoenix is supposed to be a super team, and then once again, you're out in the first round of the playoffs. That's crazy, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Phoenix is going to win. I do. Like, if they don't win, I'm going to be like, man, what do we do?
Edwards just hasn't played well against Phoenix, also. But I don't know if they lost that game on purpose. Maybe they wanted Phoenix because they had the opportunity if they had won to get the 2 seed.
I want one. Yeah, I want one Phoenix first.
So
why?
I don't know. I mean, I mean,
don't want.
I was looking at the box score. I was just trying to see if they played a lot of minutes, and they did. They just didn't shoot well. So and they were at home. So maybe Phoenix just wanted it more, and they just wanted to avoid the play-in. They just played a lot harder. But because Bill had an excellent game, and KD had a poor game, I guess, for 15. But okay, I don't know. I was looking at the box score.
I mean, we're going. It's going to be it. Listen, this is going to be. I'm gonna love to see it. That's one of the matchups I would like to see. You know. So here's another one. Shout out to Paulo, man. I like Paulo, man. I like him. We got Orlando versus the Cavs. Who do you have winning? Mo got Orlando over Cleveland in 7 games.
Cleveland has struggled down the stretch. They went from a possible 2 seed to now the 4. And Orlando also struggled. They had an opportunity at the 2, and then they just folded down the stretch too. And they just looked. At one point, I think they lost like 4 straight or something, like 4 out of 5 or something like that. It was embarrassing. Orlando is a better defensive team. They're one of the best defensive teams in the NBA at this point. I'm just trying to figure out if they're going to have enough offense because their offense is as good as they are defensively. Their offense is not. And then on the other side, you got Mitchell, who hasn't been healthy last couple of weeks or so, hasn't been 100% at least. I think he's only had like one. I could be wrong. 1 30-point game since the All-Star break or something like that. Like he hasn't been the same Donovan Mitchell that he was prior to the All-Star break. I know that, but it's going to come down to which team plays defense better. To me, um, they have a really good, like I said, there's really tenacious, I guess is the word. They're really, yeah, like they're just really. I think they're just young and they just don't know any better. But they play with such energy on that defensive end that I think it makes teams kind of panic a little bit. So I picked the Magic to get out of the first round. I thought they were going to play. I think I had them against Cleveland, but I thought it was going to be the 3-6 at one point, and they ended up getting the 4-5. So I'm sticking with the Magic. I think they're going to get out of this round. Which, I mean, Cleveland's got, if they don't get out of the first round, they got to do something. They got to change some things up because they had problems last year in the first round and they didn't make it out. And then come back this year and have a chance for the 2 seed, and you ended up dropping to 4, and now you got to play a young, scrappy Orlando team who last year wasn't in the playing game. They got some issues if they don't get past this Orlando team in the first round. So
Yeah, I agree with you. And Mo, I'm going with the Magic. I like their energy. Uh, they play hard, they're scrappy. To me, that's Paulo Banchero being a leader. You know what I'm saying? I think that it's awesome for him to. It's awesome for him to be in that position that he's in, and I think that reflects his leadership style, skill, the way that they play. And I've liked him since Duke. I've liked the pick. Orlando's picked him. I like him as a player. I think he's going to get better with time. I like him. I think Orlando is going to be in the playoffs for a while. Uh, and to your point with Cleveland, to be honest, Cleveland, I think they are going to blow it up. I think because this year it's already rumors of Donovan Mitchell wanting out. And there's rumors of him going to LA, there's rumors of him going to New York. He's leaving. He's going to be in a big he's going somewhere else. So they're going to be forced to and they'll be able to get some good draft capital, you know? And maybe they just start off with Mobley and Jarrett and Garland and just get Donovan out and kind of just build around them. I think they I don't think Donovan was a good fit for them. Like I don't think he was. Um, so we'll see. We'll see because if he leaves them, the pressure's on to win a championship because he hasn't really shown up. You know, is he that second, third star? You know, I think him and Trey Young are gonna go. They're gonna get moved this summer. But I agree with you. I think they're gonna land on Magic, man. It's the Magic, baby. All right. This is the okay. This one is huge. I'm gonna read you what Mo said. Mo said the LA Clippers over the Mavericks in 7. Clippers versus the Magic. Who do you have trade?
I got Dallas. I think that I picked the Clippers before the playoffs start or a few weeks ago or whatever. I thought Clippers and the Lakers in the next round or whatever, which sounded pretty good. But I just think the more and more I watch this Clippers team, I just think that this might be the end of it. Because I mean, Paul George. I mean, for the most part, Kawhi can't stay healthy. You know, Paul George has issues as well. Um, Although he is pretty healthy, I believe lately, or at least this season anyway. But Kawhi Leonard, who's the best player on the team, just I mean, as much as Harden has been playing well, Westbrook is back from his fractured hand that he had earlier, which I didn't know if he's going to come back or not. But he came back, and that's what they needed. I think without him, especially coming off that bench, I thought they struggled, and they needed somebody to take over that take over that Westbrook role, and they finally got him back. So I think that's definitely a big time plus. But I mean, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, like this hasn't worked. Now this is an opportunity for it to work because they have two other All-Star caliber players that they can rely on in crunch time or tough situations when they're not on the court or they're not shooting the ball well, whatever. The problem is that Luka is playing like an MVP. The
Crazy.
team has overachieved to me from last season, or where I thought they might even
Tyrese
finish.
Ball.
And Kyrie Irving has been playing like Kyrie Irving has been one of the biggest surprises this season. I guess if you were to put not really most improved, but I don't know what the award is. Comeback Player of the Year, maybe, or something like that. I'm not sure. Just because he's been such a non-distraction for this team. And after what they did last season, I think they went 5-11 in the 16 games that him and Luka played together. And there was that one clip where they were just passing the ball back and forth to each other because nobody wanted to shoot the ball or whatever. And this season is just like a total opposite. Like the team looks a lot better than they did last year. And I mean, you got to give him credit. You got to give Kyrie credit, which I mean, the last couple of years before that, when he was in Brooklyn, I wanted him just to go away. I was tired of the Kyrie Irving show. Now, I haven't even heard anything from him. I mean, I haven't really heard, especially heard anything negative. So I'm for it. I think his play is speaking for itself. I think Dallas is going to win this series. I think whoever wins this series, to me, goes to the Western Conference Finals. So I will say that. So I'm picking Dallas. So that means I got Dallas in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. And you didn't talk about it, but I have Dallas winning, right? And number one, first of all, Luca's out of control. Like the numbers he's putting up, I don't think he should win MVP. His team won 50 games. He's averaging. What is Luca averaging? Give me 1 second. I believe he's averaging 39 and 9.
No, he's not getting that high.
He's averaging 33.9 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists.
Oh, I thought you said 39.
No. I think
You said okay.
yeah. The only players that average more than 30 points, I think, in history, shout out to Nick Wright. I think it was only Michael Jordan, James Harden, Kobe Bryant. I think Joel Embiid, and I think Luka. It's not a lot of people that's averaged that many points. It's a lot of points to average in the NBA. Over 30 is a lot of points to average. And then you got to factor he's doing 9 and 9. So he's getting 9 rebounds, giving out 9 assists. That's like 50 points. And listen, I hate to say it, it's the Clippers. There's already reports of Paul George going to Philly. There's already reports of it. He's going to a contender to win. He fits good at Philly. He fits good. But there, so and Kawhi's hurt. He's hurt. He's out. And where's James Harden? Where is he at? Talks all this time of year. Let's see if he shows up. I don't think he shows up. I'm not betting James Harden shows up. I bet you Kyrie does. I agree. Western Conference Finals, them in Denver. Or the Lakers and the Mavs. All right, let me stop. Let me stop. I'm trying to break the ratings though. Anyway, I don't know about the Clippers, man. It's time to. Kawhi just stays hurt. I don't even know how he can play for a U.S. Olympic team. I don't know how. I don't know. He's hurt, and that's unfortunate, man. I think Kawhi is like a Hall of Hall of Fame level talent player, but it sucks that he keeps getting injured. It sucks, because I think like if he was healthy, if Kawhi Leonard was healthy, I think he would have won another championship.
He shouldn't have won first.
Question: what year would he have won? Would it have been the Milwaukee one? That might have been the year when Giannis and the Bucks. Giannis was playing out of control. Um, it's hard to. Golden State got one in there. The Lakers got one in there. Golden State got one in there. Boston did not get one in there. Milwaukee got one in there. And Denver. Which one? Probably the 2021. But it's unfortunate, man. And he signed like a 2-year extension. So it's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. All right, now we're going to go to the AFC and NFC East team
Oh,
needs.
whoa.
What
You
happened?
just skipped over the
What?
uh
Got the Pacers, Mavs.
you skipped over the
Which one?
oh never mind. We only got 2 series full up. Yo, I'm bugging. My bad.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
don't know the other
God.
ones.
Yeah, I forgot. Damn.
We can guess, you know what I'm saying? But
Nah, we good. I just forgot.
yeah, because
Damn,
Mo put all of them in there, and I was like, they ain't even, we ain't even.
I forgot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I listen. He has Boston and Miami, Philly and New York, OKC, and Golden State and Denver. You know what I'm saying, but they're not. It's not official yet, so I was like, I can't. I don't. We can speculate, but all right. So Buffalo Bills three team needs. Craig, I think this is pretty easy.
My bad.
Good, good.
Bills. I think the Bills definitely need a wide receiver. Obviously they just traded Diggs, so they can use a wide receiver.
And they let Gabe Davis walk.
Who?
Gabe Davis left.
Oh yeah. I wasn't really worried about him, but yeah,
Yeah, he's good number two.
he's okay, I guess.
Solid.
Nothing special to me, but I definitely think they need to figure that out after Diggs is gone easily. I think they need another edge rusher. They had some injuries last year. Von Miller is getting up there in age, so they got to figure something out. There, and I think they could use a defensive back. I don't know. I'm not saying specifically it should be a cornerback or if it should be a safety, but I think they could just go on the route of getting any type of defensive back that can help them out, especially after Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer left, and they're going to need somebody in that backfield as well. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, so the team needs um I'm going with wide receiver definitely. And this is what I was trying to tell Mo. I was like, look, they can get a good wide receiver. This is a good wide receiver draft. There's plenty of good wide receivers that weren't drafted in the first round that you could probably. It's going to be a gem in here. The AJ Browns, the um, Terry McLaurin, the Stephon Diggs. You could find one of those in this draft. So I think letting him walk, it resets everything for them. You know, they get to
Yeah.
pick their guy. Um, I think they definitely need a defensive back. I would probably definitely go with if I had to choose one, I would go corner. I think they can get a quad. Mm, I think one of the- I don't know. I'm thinking. I'm trying to. I think I would go corner. They could get a quality start corner in the second round. I think it's a lot of good corners in this draft. I don't think it's that many good safeties. You might reach for safety in the second round. So I would do corner, especially because all the receivers and tackles and quarterback, a lot of other positions get pushed down in the deep, especially on the defensive side of the ball and edge rusher. I agree with that. edge rusher. Once again, they're in a good position, right? So they are. I think they are. Hold on, I'm about to bring it up. Where they're at
In the draft,
the draft
I
pick.
think it's 28th.
They're 28. Yes, they're 28. So they can get they're gonna be able to have they can be able to get a good quality position at that order because they have pick 60th as well. So they can get a good, very good. I think they can get a corner and a receiver at those two picks. 'Cause I don't think they have a third round pick. So, you know, they don't have a third round pick. So you can go with those two, you know. Or they might get Brandon Ayuk, but I don't. I think they're gonna draft a receiver. And that's that. Oh, a team needs. I'll start off with this one for the Miami Dolphins. I think they definitely need a defensive tackle because they just let Christian Wilkinson go. I, I think they need some O line help, especially tackle. And this is a deep draft. They can get a tackle. Once again, they're picking like 21. You can get a prime, prime, prime player. You know, I think they're rich with receivers, so I think they're good on offensive side of the ball, but I think they need a offensive tackle. And then the third position, I think I would go with edge rusher. I think you can't have too many of those, and I think his name is Jalen Phillips. He's coming off of an injury. I really like his makeup too, but I think they can go with it. All right, what are your two needs for the Miami Dolphins?
I think definitely defensive tackle or somebody on the defensive line. Like you said, they
Yeah.
just lost Christian Wilkins and Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips are coming off an injury, so they need to get some depth there in terms of their defensive line. I also think they could go offensive line as well, just because Armstead's always hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know what you're going to get from him, especially since he's playing left tackle, one of the most important positions in the NFL. So gotta put somebody there to protect Tua's blind side, and you could go edge. You could go. I think tight end is going to be a need possibly. I think they got Jonnu Smith, but I just haven't been really big on Jonnu Smith. I think, but also look at the tight ends after after Bowers. There's really nobody there. So,
No,
and I don't think they're going to drop Bowers down that far. So, but I think they could use a tight end. But just because the pool is so limited, I'm gonna just say edge. So
I agree with that. I totally wholly agree with that. All right, great. New England Patriots. Guess we got one of those.
I mean, they need a lot of help. We don't know they need a quarterback for certain. I'm probably just going to go a lot of offense at this point. Quarterback, I think they need a wide receiver. They have no wide receiver help outside of who's there? Kendrick Bourne, maybe. I think he was hurt last year, so they really don't have anybody that can catch the ball. And you're going to need somebody that can be the number one for a young quarterback, especially since they don't have a solid veteran. You would like to have a solid veteran and possibly draft a young guy so that way they can try to bring him along or whatever. But this is going to be tough. And then I'll probably with the offensive line. I think they need some depth. They're going to have to get some bodies in there to protect their star quarterback, whoever they draft. So, man, this team is going to be in trouble. But quarterback, wide receiver, offensive line in my top.
Mm, I think Patriots need a lot. Their team is depleted. Their defensive side is to me. I like their defensive side of the ball. Their number one pick last year, the corner Christian Gonzalez, who I thought the Commanders were going to take, had a phenomenal rookie year. That's why I wanted. But what do I know? Draft this guy. Anyway, I think they need receiver. They have no receivers on their depth chart. They are very thin. Um, then you're talking about quarterback because listen, the, the owner Bob Kraft came out and said it. Jared Mayo said it. And I think listen. This is a Craig. This is a great draft quarterback. I think it could end up like 2020, where it's. I think it's four good quarterbacks, right? Burrow, Herbert, Tua, Jordan Love was in that draft. So I mean, I could see it because listen, you know, Patriots at number 3, they could get Drake May or Jaden Daniels. That's a good position to be in, Craig. You know what I'm saying? I seen some with JJ McCarthy. Patriots fans do not like that. They said it reminded them of Mac Jones. They said they either want Drake May or Jaden Daniels, and I understand why. Because Drake May's upside is Herbert or Josh Allen. You get the full potential, you might get a Josh Allen. And, you know, then you got Jaden Daniels who brings that Lamar Jackson type style, and he also can read the field, you know? So I just think they're in a good position. So it's quarterback, receiver, and then I would probably say I would do offensive line help. Offensive line. All right. The New York Jets. Uh, New York Jets are very interesting. I got to give the GM some credit. They did good in the free agency. I think the team needs are a tight end or receiver, a dynamic pass catcher. I still think they need O line help. Tyron Smith missed a lot of games, uh, and they got the right tackle, Morgan, because he used to play on the Commanders. He's good. He's a good. Morgan Moses is a good right tackle. But Tyron Smith is gonna miss games, and I think to protect Aaron Rodgers, I think they need offensive line help, tackle, and I think for I think they need a receiver. I think they need offensive weapons. I think they need O line help, a receiver, and a tight end. That's what I think they need. I think somebody opposite of Garrett Wilson or a phenomenal tight end. They have the 10th pick. They should be drafting Brock Bowers. But or tackle or tackle. All right, three team needs of the New York Jets. Chris.
I don't know if they really need what they do. I'm gonna say tight end just because um, Bowers is definitely probably not definitely, but Bowers might still be there when they draft. Any type of offensive guy that they could have for Rodgers coming into this season is definitely a plus. Something that the Packers didn't really do for him was draft any type of offensive guy in the first round, tight end or wide receiver. So this is an opportunity to at least give him that. Um, they did get Mike Williams off season, which I like Mike Williams. He's just always hurt, especially the last couple seasons, and last year was no different. And I think you could definitely use a wide receiver as well, just because if he does go down, you have somebody else that you can probably put in there, and he'll probably be not as good as Mike Williams, but he could be serviceable. And opposite Garrett Wilson, and then if Mike Williams is there, then you can have 3 wide receivers and possibly a tight end. That offense could be one of the best offenses in the NFL. And I think they could use they definitely use offensive line, but I think they can use a safety help. I think they need some safeties. The safety group is looking pretty thin right now, so um, and that's I think they lost a lot of their safeties for the most part. So I think that turnover that they got at that position is going to be critical for them to stop some of those deep passes, especially with the offense and their offense, and maybe whoever they get as well. But they got some things to feel because Tyler Conklin at tight end, nah. So they got to figure that out.
Nah, Tyler Conklin. Um, I don't think he's a good. I don't think he's a good. Okay. I don't. I think. Listen, the Jets are in prime position, Craig, to at the 10th pick address the need, and I just I think Brock Bowers would be perfect for them to snatch him up. All right, Craig. The NFC East. We're gonna start off with the Dallas Cowboys.
Um,
It's weird. I did it by like how teams finish.
Dallas is interesting, but because of their whole, I mean, I'm tired of hearing about Dallas anyway. I get tired of hearing about them during the regular season. When the playoffs are over and they're not no longer in it, I don't listen to no more Dallas talk. So anytime it's on TV, I turn it because there's no need. There's no need to talk about this team that much. I get they're real popular, but it's just annoying. So I would say they need offensive line help. Um, I mean, because there's always a need for offensive line anyway. And that seems to be sometimes, or at least a couple drafts. That's what they've done. And Tyron Smith is not going to be there, so that's going to hurt them. Even though he's a little banged up here and there, but excuse me. I definitely think they could use a offensive line. I think they could use a running back. I don't know who their starting running back is at this point. They lost Pollard. I don't think there's any running back worth drafting in the first round, but even at the position they're at, but I think they could just get possibly get a another running back this or to challenge, try to go for that starting job. And defensive line or defensive tackle. I think they can use a defensive tackle as well. And I really want to say wide receivers because Gallup's so bad, and I just don't buy into it as a third. I don't even really buy into Cooks after you get past Lamb, and then you got Lamb with his contract issues. Like this could be,
Wow.
I don't know, man. So, but just for this season, the long term, I probably will go wide receiver, but maybe just for this season, because I mean, right now they're in win now mode. They've won 12 games in the last 3 years, so I think you can use some defensive lineman help. My third spot.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. They do need a running back, and this is not heavy, but I think they'll be able to get a serviceable running back in the fourth round. You know, because on their depth chart, I can tell you who their running back.
Oh, they had Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn, Rico Dottle,
Okay,
Malik
no.
Davis, and Snoop Connor.
So they got nobodies. Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't even have Gallup no more. What happened to him? I guess he didn't get re-signed.
Yeah.
Huh,
He's not on the.
Okay, well, I take that back. Give them. They probably do need a wide receiver.
Right?
He's a free agent still. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, they didn't pick him up.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he. I don't think he. I don't think he recovered from that injury.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think. I don't think he. I don't think he recovered from that injury, man. Unfortunately.
And
Yeah.
Vander actually retired. So
Yeah. And he signed a 5 year, 62.5 million extension.
he retired pretty young. I don't even think he's 30. So yeah.
Yeah. So for the Cowboys, I have D tackle, definitely O line help and running back help. Um, they're going all in. It's talks about the Cowboys. Not happy with Gallup. I mean, not happy with Gallup. Not happy with Micah Parsons. They're not extending Dak. Not extending the head coach. So Mike McCarthy, CeeDee Lamb is sitting out. We're gonna see. We're gonna see when it gets real. We won't know it's real when training camp starts. That's when we're gonna see who has the big cojones. Because when you start missing training camp days, listen, you seen Major League. You seen Major League. You know what cojones. So anytime you have no marbles. Anyway, listen. So all I'm saying is that um, we're gonna see if CeeDee Lamb sits out training camp. That's how you know. We're gonna do the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles are very interesting because they kind of loaded up. They just signed Devontae Smith to an extension. They got Saquon Barkley, but I think they would need some. I think they need some O line help with Kelsey retiring. I think they need a center. I think they need a corner. They're in position to get the best corner in this draft by drafting this late. I think they hop on it, and I think they need a safety. I think their back end of their defense is a heavy team need and O line. So I think they need a I think they need a corner, a safety, and an offensive lineman. What are three team needs for the Philadelphia Eagles, Greg?
I'm going corner. I definitely think they need a corner. That secondary was just awful last year. Um,
Crazy.
it was just awful. And then they went out and they got Kevin Byard I mean, sorry, the defense. I'm sorry, the defense was just horrible last year. And then they went out and got Kevin Byard. I thought it was going to be a great move, and it just didn't. It never got better. It just seemed like it got worse, maybe. But I think they need definitely a cornerback. Offensive line help. You mentioned Kelsey retiring, specifically a center. But any type of offensive line help, maybe they can get some depth on there and move some bodies around if they're not playing center or they don't know how to play center specifically. But offensive line help would be phenomenal on that team. And I think part of me wants to say wide receiver just because I'm not sure about AJ Brown's future status with this team.
Mm,
So
okay. Okay.
that's where I kind of want to go, but I am going to say safety. I'm going to say safety just because that back end their defense, which was the strength, has just been depleted. I just didn't play well. I don't know what the case may be, but I get the quarterback was hurt, but I just expected more out of that defense, especially that secondary, and they just didn't play well. So I just think they need to get some depth at safety, corner, and definitely offensive line.
Yeah, that's what I think so, man. And yeah, but it's they need definitely help back end. um, I can start off with this one. Team needs for the Commanders. Um, well, picking second, guys. So I can tell you this is my team, so I can tell you exactly what we need. Listen, we're not. I think we have a chance because we have a lot of picks in the top 100. We have a chance to shape the way our franchise goes on from here on out. Team need quarterback. Marcus Mariota is not a starter in this league. We know that. There's no like, oh, he's a starter, and no, he's not even a bridge quarterback. He's a backup. And that's just the reality of it. I think we need O-line help, inside and outside. So we need to land on the tackle, and we need to land on the inside lineman. And I think we should get another corner or edge rusher help on the defensive side. That's what I have for my Commanders. It's so we got a chance to address it because we have the second pick, and then we have 36th pick, and then we have the 40th pick. And then we have the 67th pick, and then we have the 78th pick. So we have, and then we have three third round picks, two second round picks, and the second overall pick. That's a lot of picks. That's a lot of picks in the top 100. So we got a chance to reshape our franchise. All right, Washington Commanders. Team needs, Craig. What say you?
Definitely a quarterback. They traded away, obviously, Sam Howell, and then they went out and got Mariota. They let Brissett go. So, and their number 2 picks, they're definitely going to get a quarterback. Just depends on who they want at that point.
Got good choice. Got good choice.
I think they could use offensive line help. Their offensive line wasn't great last year. So, and they gave up most, or at least Sam Howell got sacked the most out of any quarterback in the NFL. So, if they don't get that offensive line fixed, whoever they draft, no matter who it is going to be, could be in for a long season. But I think they're going to address that with their line, along with the pieces that they brought in from free agency. But there's nothing wrong with having some depth there. And I think they need a edge rusher. On them defensive line that can rush the passer. Chase Young not there. Montez Sweat's not there. Still have Allen and Payne, but you need somebody younger that can come in and be that edge rusher that can solidify that defensive line. So I wouldn't be opposed to a secondary guy as well, but those are my top 3.
Yeah. Hey, this year we got a chance to. We can get a whole new starting offensive line and defense. We got a lot of picks. Whole new quarterback. All right. And we're going to do the last team, the New York Football Giants. What does their team need?
I'm going straight offense on this. I'm going quarterback. Even though I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback. Maybe not in the first round. Maybe they'll
a lot of smoke.
Take one in the second, maybe. I just don't think they're going. I think they have other bigger needs, especially when you pay the quarterback. What's he getting? $20 million a year or something like that.
With Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, yeah.
Yeah, $40
million a year.
Yeah, but it's only guaranteed after this year. Next year, it's not guaranteed anymore.
That's fine. I think. I guess you could take a quarterback, but I think you had to start Jones because you're paying him so much. Somebody's like, "Why do I think it was 20? He's not worth $40 million a year." Anyway, so we were worse. This whole time I thought he was getting $20 million. It kind of made sense, but now $40 million is way overpaid. And I knew he was overpaid to begin with, but some reason my mind just said 20. So
he has $47 million cap hit this year.
That's insane. So he's getting paid crazy money for being less than mediocre. So I got to go quarterback just because I think they need one. Even though I don't think they're going to take one in the first round. Possibly, maybe even take one in the second. Maybe they'll take Spencer Rattler or something like that. Or maybe they're just running the season with Daniel Jones and then let him fall on his face and then take a quarterback next year. But I definitely think they need a wide receiver. They've always needed a wide receiver for I don't know how long. They tried to do it with free agency with Galladay. That didn't work.
Odell?
They need a wide receiver.
Have they? Is it true? Have they not had one since Odell?
To my knowledge, no, especially not in the first round. But I could be wrong. They took the guy out of. I don't know where he was drafted last year in the first or second round. Possibly the second. The guy out of Tennessee. Hyatt. The guy out of Tennessee.
Oh, Hyatt.
I think he went the second round.
Yeah, they need.
So, this is an opportunity for at least if you draft a top wide receiver here, which they're gonna have an opportunity to, then you could give Daniel Jones some help. Maybe he'll look better with a younger number one wide receiver. I doubt it, but at least you can say you tried by at least his last season. You tried by giving him some help. But I definitely think they need a wide receiver, and I also think they need a running back. I don't know when they're going to get a running back, how they're going to get a running back at this point, but they need one. But I mean, you just lost your best player on offense, so I'm not sure exactly where they go. I know they got Devin Singletary. I don't think Devin Singletary is is the answer at running back. I know he had a really good season last year in Houston, but there's a reason why, even though he had that great season in Houston, he's not in Houston anymore. So, and he's not in Buffalo anymore. So, I think they have to figure something out there, running back, to have a consistent. I don't know if it's going to be Eric Gray, who was the guy they took last year, but they got to figure something out.
I agree with you. I think quarterback. I think receiver. And they drafted Sterling Shepard.
Oh, that was that long ago.
He hasn't been good.
I don't think he's even on the team no more.
Not on the team no more. I mean,
he's a free agent. Yeah.
He's not on the team. So I think they have a chance to get a Malik Neighbors or a Marvin Harrison if he falls, or Roma Doomsday. I think this is the draft they do it. But I'm seeing a lot of mock drafts. They did a lot of work on these quarterbacks. I think they're going to draft a quarterback. The owner came out and was like, "Oh, we need a quarterback." They did a lot of homework on quarterback. So I think they need receiver, quarterback. I think running back. I think they need to get a running back. But maybe some O-line help too. But that paying Daniel Jones and letting Saquon walk might have been a ridiculous mistake.
Might have been.
Because I didn't know this. Saquon, he was their best receiver last year. He got a lot of yards of offense, total yards. And they don't have that anymore. So I don't know. We're gonna see what they can do.
No.
We're gonna see. But they're not gonna get one of those dynamic quarterbacks. Now, I seen one mock trade where New England drafts JJ McCarthy. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna draft Drake May.
Yeah, but I think if they do draft
JJ
McCarthy,
Giants would draft Drake May.
Then I think somebody would trade up with San Diego, or the Chargers or something.
They would trade up with the Cardinals at 4.
Like Minnesota.
Now here's the thing about Minnesota. The problem is, I've been hearing if the Giants want to trade up, the Arizona can still get a number 1 receiver by trading back. Because if Arizona trades with the Giants from 4 to 6, the Giants draft Drake May. Say the Chargers get Marvin Harrison. I've been hearing that a lot. And then the Cardinals get Roma Doomsday, our neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I trade? Minnesota has the ammo. But if the Giants want to trade 4, I would do the Giants one because it's like, wait a minute. You can get Roma Doomsday and get more draft capital? I'm going to trade the Giants because at 11, and that's what Mo was saying. Yes. If they go to 11, they might talk themselves out of receiver, or they could trade up to get Brian Thomas. But that's neither here nor there. All right, Craig. Top 5. What's your top 5 for this week?
This week I have my top 5 are the teams under the NBA teams that are under the most pressure. Should we put NBA team? NBA teams that are under the most pressure this year in the playoffs, are going into the playoffs. So my number 5 probably could be number 4 or maybe even number 3 at this point. but I'm going with the Knicks at number 5 just because it is New York. They got the number 2 seed. You got people like Stephen A. Smith going
Oh, he's
crazy talking
on.
about New York
He's on.
stand up and all this stuff, which is fine. The reason why I don't have them as high is because I kind of give them a little bit of an out, even though they haven't played with them for a while, and that's because they don't have who was the power forward who got hurt for the Knicks? I can't think of his name now. Oh my God, why am I blanking on the power? Julius Randle. Jesus, because they don't have Randle. So now that they don't have Randle, that kind of gives them a little bit of an out, a little bit, just because if he was there and he was healthy and he was ready to go, I think they would have a much better chance to get out of the first round and possibly get to the conference finals and play maybe Boston. But I just
Stephen A.
they have pressure because it is.
And they going to the West.
Huh?
Stephen A. said that.
Nah, I think if Philly's healthy and they play them, I think Philly's going. Whoever wins that series, I think is going to the conference final. I'll say that. But I got my money on Philly as long as Embiid is healthy. But the Knicks have a lot of pressure because it is New York and they kind of overachieved, I guess you could say. Last year, especially when they had an opportunity, they beat the Cavaliers in the first round. They looked good. They beat them in 5, and then they went up against the 8th seed in the Heat. And for some reason, they just couldn't beat the 8th seed Heat, which a lot of teams couldn't. They made it to the finals last year. So this is an opportunity for them to at least rectify that and make good on that promise, I guess, that Stephen A. keeps saying, or they get going to the conference finals and all that stuff. So they have an opportunity. They have a lot of talent. Jalen Brunson's playing like an MVP. I just don't got them a little bit higher. I got the Bucks as my 4th team. The Bucks, I mean, they're under some. I mean, you got Giannis maybe not signing a long-term deal. You got Dame. I heard Dame might not come back. They went out and they got Doc Rivers, and he's been 17-19 as a coach since he's taken over. First, the team was 30-13 when they had Griffin. Yeah, they weren't playing great on defense, but they're not playing great on defense now neither. And obviously you have Giannis, who was hurt last year. He's hurt again coming into the playoffs again this year. He's not going to be there for the start of the series. But, I mean, you go out and you trade Drew Holiday to Boston, and you go out and you get you trade for Dame. I mean, you're putting all your eggs in that basket, and it's just, I mean, they just have not looked like the team who I thought they were going to look like once they got that trade. I thought it might take a little while, but I thought they would figure it out, and the team would play a lot better. They just haven't. But it's going to be a tough, and they play the Pacers in the first round who can score. It's going to be tough. And without Giannis, number 3, I got the Suns. The Suns, when you go out and you get this big 3, and you go out and you get Bradley Beal and like make all these moves and get Kevin Durant last year. It didn't work out last year. I mean, they got to the second round, but man, they just got destroyed because there's only 2. Now they have 3 players that can score, but I just don't know, man. Kevin Durant, I mean, he's always going to have that you went to Golden State thing on his back. I mean, he did win 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, but he's always going to have that stigma, I guess, on his back, or that X on his resume, I guess. I don't know, but he's going to have to deal with that. And I think what the Suns did by going out and getting Bill, I think they have a crazy amount of pressure to try to win, especially for Durant's legacy and to bring a title for the first time ever to Phoenix. They had an opportunity a few years ago, and then lo and behold, Chris Paul gets hurt. So they got some things they got to figure out there. My number 2 team is the Clippers. Clippers, man, they just been in this same situation for years when they had Lob City, and now they got Harden, Westbrook, Leonard, and George. And they're kind of in the same situation. Like this, I'm just waiting for PG and Kawhi to get hurt at this point. Kawhi's already hurt a little bit. Maybe he'll be there for the start of the playoffs when they play Dallas. But it's just like when you go out and you trade for Harden and you bring in Westbrook before that last year, trade for Harden this year, and trying to figure out if it's going to work out. They started out rough. They figured it out. And then Westbrook gets hurt. He comes back. But now you're still trying to figure out how to get it to actually work. And you got Tyronn Lue there, who's a really good coach. But man, this Clippers team they've underachieved basically since like 2019, since this team came
crazy.
together.
That is wild.
And George. And my number one team has the most pressure is Boston. I think Boston definitely, they have best record in the league, and they have the highest paid player in the league, and will soon have next year possibly have the new highest paid player in the league.
Yeah, they're going all in.
They're still young. They got Drew Holiday. They went out and got him for defense. They traded away Marcus Smart. Like, they have some really good players, but I mean, it just hasn't worked out for them in the playoffs. And this is an opportunity. Like, all the pressure's on them. They're pretty much the favorite, I think, to come out of the East. And they're like one or two to win the whole thing behind Denver or maybe in front of Denver. So they got a lot of issues to figure out, especially get those demons off their back, something they haven't done since 2010. This is the last time they went to the finals, I believe. Right?
Nah, they lost to Golden State.
Oh, that's right. They did lose to Golden State. So you're right. They lost to Golden State in like a few years ago, 2021, I think.
2021.
So they got to try to 2021, 2022, something like that. So they got to
2021.
Okay. So they got a lot of rectifying to do, and they got an opportunity here with having home court throughout the playoffs. But when you're in Boston, you know, it's title town, I believe. So you're known for winning championships. So they gotta finally put that, I guess, that stigma to rest and go ahead and win the championship for those fans.
So two things I really like about your list. The crazy thing about the Clippers, remember when Pat Bev and they were in the casino and they were it was Pat Bev and Lou Will, they was like, oh, we winning the championship now. We winning it. We don't got Paul George and Kawhi.
Man. It looks good on paper.
It looks phenomenal on paper. But they haven't won.
I don't know, man.
And with Boston, you know they just paid Drew Holiday, right?
Yeah.
They said that, that's what I heard, they're going all in. They're going to keep this core together. And which is true. Jason Tatum is only 26.
How can
So
you
they think
afford
they can
it?
win a couple championships with them. I think they're right.
I mean, this is a perfect opportunity for them to win.
Like if they go and lose to Denver, I could be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be interesting. But
I'm not gonna be mad, but I mean, if you're the Celtics, your whole thing is to win the championships. Now, if you're
yeah. And I think, and then if they have the same team back next year, but everybody paid, they might win it.
Possibly.
Yeah, they got good. They all young. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with them. Go all in now. If you're gonna play the luxury tax, do it now. Get everybody signed, and then because if they're say Denver wins it this year and then Boston goes back to back, it's not like you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You straight because Tatum would have won it at 27 or 28. You know, that's a great top five. And now we're gonna finish up with the team grade from the AFC and NFC North. Very interesting. The AFC North. I'm gonna start off with the Baltimore Ravens. I think the team need for the Baltimore Ravens. I think that they need offensive line. I think that I think they need a receiver because now Odell's gone. I think that this is a perfect draft where they can get a receiver to complement Zay Flowers. I think they can, and I think they need O line help to protect Lamar Jackson. Also, I'm trying to think on the defensive side. Do they have an area need? Maybe corner. Maybe corner is an area need, but I do think they need offensive line help. I think they need to bolster receiving core. I think they're pretty good on defense. Maybe draft a young corner to start getting ready for him to start. They got Myron Humphrey already. But yeah, I think that's the three team needs. What are your three team needs for the Baltimore Ravens?
O line help definitely with the loss of Morgan Moses.
Yes,
That I mean, and then you always want to protect
yes,
Lamar
yes,
Jackson as best you can.
yes.
Wide receiver, uh, man, I don't even. I mean, last year Zay Flowers was a standout for that team. Odell Beckham struggled. He wasn't good. Nelson Aguilar wasn't that good. Bateman's just been a disappointment. I thought he was going to be a lot better coming out of college. He hasn't shown that
Mm,
next step, or he hasn't taken that next step yet. I don't know if he will. So I think they need another wide receiver, even though we drafted one last year. As if they can hit on another Zay Flowers type, like Zay Flowers did, I should say, they'll be perfectly fine. And I think they can use an edge rusher. Patrick Queen's not there anymore. Need somebody else that can try to rush the quarterback. Um, and I mean, they really don't have too many holes. That's great. The defense is, as long as everybody stays healthy, their defense is really, really good. But
really good.
I mean, they got a couple of small holes and just need some depth. So I will go edge for my third.
All right, I'm gonna do Cincinnati Bengals. Team needs. Great, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Did my mic go out? No,
No,
I
I heard.
said Cincinnati Bengals. Team needs.
Oh, me. I thought you were talking about. Oh, I thought you were talking
Oh
about. My
yeah.
bad. My bad. I'm going offensive line.
Okay.
I think they could always use offensive line. I mean, offensive line has just been hit or miss
Mm-hmm.
last couple of years. I thought that they had an opportunity to better that offensive line, and it looked good on paper, like they were trying to make moves, but it was up or down, up and down. But I think they could always get some more depth, especially to help out help out Burrow. Um, I'm going running back. I think they need a running back. I don't know. I mean, you let Mixon go, which that's fine, but you got to replace him with somebody. And Zach Moss had a solid season last year with the time that he played when JT was hurt. So he played really well, and I thought they should have got more touches even when JT was healthy. But it kind of went back to the Jonathan Taylor show. But now he has an opportunity to show and what he can do. But I'm just not sure if he's a every down back like for a 17 game season. He looked good in those like 4 or 5 games. I think it was 4 that Jonathan Taylor missed at the beginning, but I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling him being a every down back. And I think they could use a defensive tackle or a defensive lineman or edge rusher, somebody on that defensive line that can get to the quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they want wide receiver just because of the whole T. Higgins thing with his contract or his signing the franchise tag. Tyler Boyd is not going to be there anymore, so and then you got to pay Chase at some point. So we got to try to figure that whole thing out. But if you get rid of Higgins, then you can at least reset the wide receiver, at least for one wide receiver, set that clock on and have another wide receiver there that you can rely on opposite of Chase. He's going to get all the attention anyway. So that's where I'm going with it.
Oh man, my bad. Shout out Mo. He put his in the chat. Hold on.
Well, look who decided to show up.
My
Hello,
bad.
Mo.
His Ravens offensive lineman, receiver, and defensive back.
Okay.
For Cincinnati, he has same thing. I was same thing. You said mine maybe a little bit different. He has receiver, offensive lineman, and DB. Mine's a little different. I think because T. Higgins isn't going anywhere, he's going to play under it. Um, and then they're probably going to let him test the market. They're probably just going to go all in because I think they're going to probably pay Chase. I don't know if they can afford both because Joe Burrow signed a huge deal. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe Burrow's contract. I mean, let me see. Hold on. His contract is is a pretty good one. Yeah, he signed a 5 year, $275 million deal. Um, so he's only 10 million on the cap, but then it goes so his cap it's 29 million. Then it goes to 46, 48, 52. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think they're going to get rid of him in 2028. He had 53 and 68. So that's a lot against the cap. I think they're going to go on with T. Higgins. Um, and Tyler Boyd's gone, so I can see why. But I think they're going to probably rely on the draft later. I think they're going to need offensive line help. I think they need defensive line help. I think they need D tackle help and O line help. And I think they need. I think I'm gonna go defense with them. I think they need a corner. You know, that's just me. Right there. All right. We'll start off with Mo with this one.
Hmm?
Cleveland Browns. He has a receiver and defensive lineman. Um, for me, the needs for Cleveland, I think, are I think they need an offensive lineman. I think they need. I think they're pretty show up on their receivers. Um, I think they're good in the running backs, but I think they need offensive lineman help. So I think they need like a tackle or a interior offensive lineman to just protect Joe Burrow. I
Joe
think they
Burrow.
need. I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson. I do. I think they need offensive line help. I think the receivers are good. I don't think they need a receiver because they just got Jerry Judy in the trade and they have Cooper. So I don't think they're sure up there. I think they have a great tight end. I think they had a great defense last year. So I think they add a D tackle to that. And I think they go edge rusher opposite Miles Garrett. All right, Cleveland Browns, Craig. What does the three team need?
Definitely offensive line and defensive line are two needs. Even though their offensive line is always really good, and their defensive line was really good last year, you just add some extra depth to that to both of those sides. Um, Something that hasn't been brought up a lot for some of these positions is linebacker. I think they could use a linebacker and possibly safety as well. But I would probably lean more towards like a linebacker or a edge rusher or something like that that can help them out in terms of their defense. Even though, like I said, their defense has been solid, but that's where I would go.
That's why I think um, I think they need that O line help.
And they don't have a first round pick,
No, they don't. They don't. Don't have a first
so
round pick. They got a good team though. They got good depth. I give them that. The GM's been doing good. I give them that. Craig, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, so they definitely need a wide receiver after trading away
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson, which really, I mean, they didn't really get rid of anything there, but it is an extra body that they could just add to the depth chart or whatever. But I don't think he's not that good. Offensive line is another point of need for them. Excuse me. You're going to have either Russ back there who does whatever he wants to do. It seems like extending plays or whatever, and you got Justin Fields that can do the same thing, extending plays, whatever the case may be. So I definitely think offensive lineman help that, whether it's interior, whether it's just a tackle, anybody in the offensive line would be a plus for them. And I think they could use a corner. Excuse me. I also think they could use a corner for their secondary. I think they have a couple guys on that roster that could be pushed, and I'm not sure if anybody is like a head and shoulders besides Asante Samuel. I don't really know.
What are you talking about?
It's like a big time. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't they just get No, they have Joey Porter Jr. That's what it is. Joey Porter Jr. and they just went out and got
Commander, and he dropped.
They got Dante Jackson. But I know Dante Jackson is not always. He's not the healthiest, I guess.
Okay.
So their defense should be actually pretty good. I forgot they got Patrick Queen. I just talked about not too long ago, but that's where he went. Mika Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt's still there. I probably would just, I probably just more focus on the offensive side of the ball. Because I think even though their defense wasn't great last year, I think they're going to be a lot better if everybody's healthy.
So I like that. I think that Pittsburgh definitely needs to address the offensive lines. The O line has been struggling for a minute now. I also think they need a receiver. That's a fair thing. I was listening to a mock draft. Some people have Brian Thomas going there. Right, you had a cap space. They got the cap space. They definitely O line and they definitely receiver. And I can see why you need a defensive back. I can see why both y'all said defensive back. Because you got Joey Porter on one side and then not really
Dante Jackson.
Or I would do D tackle. Start working on depth. Cam Hayward doesn't have that much time left.
That's true.
That's true. Maybe shore up that D tackle, but I definitely think they need an interior lineman or a or interior lineman or a wide receiver, like ASAP, like yesterday. Like, yeah. All right, now we're gonna go with the NFC North. Craig, the Detroit Lions.
Lions. I think they could use. I think their offense is pretty solid. As long as everybody comes back and kind of plays like they did last year, I think the offense could be pretty solid, like they were last year coming into this season. So I'm going edge. I think they can use an edge rusher or somebody to get to the quarterback because last year it was just Hutchinson. So you got to have somebody other than Hutchinson that can get to the quarterback. I don't think they can go in the next year without somebody consistently getting to a quarterback other than just one guy. Cornerback is another need. They lost Gardner Johnson, so he's not there. They definitely can use somebody in that cornerback position. And I'm sticking with the secondary on safety. I think they can use the safety. Their defense last year wasn't that great in terms of stopping the pass. So they gotta figure that out. And I think it starts with getting help at both corner and safety, and also somebody that can rush the passer.
Mm. Um, oh man, my cat is wilding out. Get away from me. Anyway, shout out to Buttercup. You know, found a way to make it on the camera. So, I it's crazy. She's, she's just causing trouble. All right, so um, we're talking about Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, I think I would do interior lineman help, offensive lineman help. I think they are in a good position to draft O lineman. I think last year they had good picks on defense. I agree. They need once again to address the back end. I think they need a corner and a safety with their in this draft. But they have a luxury of picking the best player available on their board because they got good depth. So they're able to get. That's what good teams are able to do, right? Like we can instead of drafting for a need, they can draft best player available, and I think they're in that position to do it. All right, I'm going to start off with the Green Bay Packers. Very interesting. Oh, let me read. Mo said Detroit defensive back and linebacker, so he wants him to address the defensive side. Green Bay, he said O line, defensive tackle, and the corner. I agree with the corner position. Um, I think I like Jair Alexander. I just think they need another corner to shore up the other spot. Um, Offensive line help, of course. I think that is needed when you have a franchise quarterback in Jordan Love to protect him. I think they're good on the offensive weapon side. I think they're good with receivers. I think they're good with tight ends. I think they get O line. And I think D tackle. I think Mo hit it on the nose with D tackle. It's always good to have a D tackle to provide an interior rush. So, what do your team need for the Green Bay Packers?
I want offensive line just because they need to protect Jordan Love as best they can. So anybody on the offensive line would help, especially after they released I don't know how to say his last name, Bakhtiari or whatever. So even though he's banged up all the time, it seems like, but I definitely think they could use some help on the offensive line. Um, I would edge or maybe defensive line, somebody on the defensive line, anybody that can get pressure up the middle, or you can get somebody on the outside with their edge rushers as well. And you know what? This year, I'm not even mad for the first time in a while. I'm not even going to be mad that the Packers didn't draft a wide receiver in the first round. Last couple of
Yeah,
years, Aaron Rodgers, I was
yeah.
just getting irritated that they just never gave him help. Finally, this team doesn't look like they need any offensive help. They have really young, good wide receivers that kind of came along and grew up last year with this offense, with that
Josh
offense.
Jacobs,
So,
right?
huh?
They got Josh Jacobs too in the running
Yeah, they got Josh Jacobs as well. So their offensive guys that they have their receivers, those guys should be a lot better off this season after 1 year under their belt into in that offense. And then you add in a guy like Josh Jacobs. You also have AJ Dillon still there. He can be a nice spellback. So they definitely have some pieces there on that offensive side. I just think that they need to get some more depth in that O line, an edge rusher, and a defensive lineman. And possibly they can use a cornerback because I think you brought it up. You brought up Jair Alexander, but Jair Alexander has only played a full season. Well, I guess it's not even a full season. I think he's played 16 games, not this past season, but the year before. Other than that, he hasn't played more than like 7 games or so. So he's kind of been banged up. So having some extra depth at corner is not a bad idea either.
Yeah, yeah. I just you know think that corner is one of those positions like edge rush. We can't have too many. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at Jordan Love's contract. and I remember he signed a 1-year, $22 million extension. So his cap hit is only $12 million. That's crazy. He has a chance to sign a big deal if he
Yeah.
balls out. Jordan Love has a chance to sign a big deal. We're gonna see. I like Jordan Love. I like him as a quarterback. I like him coming out of Utah once again. Wish the Commanders picked him, but Green Bay made the right choice. All right, Craig, Minnesota Vikings, Team B.
Uh, yeah, quarterback is definitely a need for them. I don't know if they need to. They probably need to trade up. They have 2 picks in the first round, so they have the capital, the draft capital, to actually move up. It's just if they're willing to actually go that route and move up. Also have offensive line. I think whoever they draft at quarterback, if they do draft a quarterback, or even if they don't, they got Sam Darnold. They need somebody on the offensive line to block basically for whoever their quarterback's going to be. And they need a edge rusher. I think they can use an edge rusher as well. They anybody can get to the quarterback at this point, especially when you got Jordan Love on the other side, or you got Jared Goff in that division, and then whoever the Bears are going to draft was most likely going to be Caleb, but you have him as well. But quarterback is a big time need because I don't think they want to go in the next season with Sam Darnold, even though he's a veteran. You don't want to go in the next season with Sam Darnold as your quarterback, and then you have Justin Jefferson there, who's a free agent next year. And you also have Jordan Addison, who had he had a pretty good season last year, really good season last year as a rookie.
So Mo said quarterback, running back, and then DB.
I can see running back too. I think they can use a running back.
Yeah,
They
I
can
can
use
see
a running
running
back,
back.
especially after they lost Madison, right? So, and Aaron Jones is, he's
He
iffy.
only gonna give you maybe 10 games.
Yeah, he's kind of injury prone. So definitely, I can see running back.
I think they need quarterback. And I think they need an edge rusher. They need an edge rusher. But they do have 2 picks in the first round, so they can solidify some needs. They got a good team. And I agree with Mo with cornerback. I think that's a good need for them. But they have a quality team if they get the right quarterback in there and let them sit behind Donald. I think you go into the future with them. Now, so here's for instance, here that would be a good spot for JJ McCarthy to sit for a year, and then you go all in. You let Sam Donald start, and if Sam Donald was doing terrible after 10 games, and you let JJ come in and do his thing, but you get a chance to sit a quarterback. They got a good team, man. They got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. With Aaron Jones, that's a quarterback's dream, right? All right, Craig. The last team, Chicago Bears. What's the team need?
I mean, obviously they need a quarterback, so I mean they're going to get whoever they want at that point. Most likely it's going to be Caleb, but I think they're going to take a quarterback, obviously. And they only have 4 picks in the draft: 2 firsts, a third, and a fourth, I think. So they don't have many opportunities unless they make some trades or whatever. They don't have many opportunities to make some draft picks here in this upcoming draft. So they got to kind of capitalize on every single pick that they take because I mean 4 picks is not really. I don't know, man. It's just not enough. I don't think to to solidify your team for the future long term. So hopefully next year they'll have a lot more opportunities to make picks in the 2025 draft. But I definitely think quarterback easily. They can use another wide receiver. Keenan Allen, I like Keenan Allen, but he's injury prone as well. And
Yeah.
I think they choose a little bit more depth at that wide receiver position, get a little bit younger, draft somebody for the future when Keenan Allen, who's like 31, 32, when he retires or whatever it is, or if he does get hurt, you have another wide receiver there that you can that you've drafted, and you can pair him with Caleb for the long term for the future. And I think they can use another edge rusher. They always use edge rusher out. I think Montez Sweat is really good. But I think they could always use another edge rusher. And I mean, hey, got to throw offensive line out there as well, just because I mean, you want to draft somebody that's going to help your quarterback and keep him out and keep him healthy for the season. I don't know if they do that at 9, or if they take possibly maybe a wide receiver, maybe a Dunze falls to 9, or Neighbors falls to 9. Or maybe they could trade that pick with somebody else, get some more picks, or maybe they could take off the line in there. So those are my picks for them or needs.
That's what I keep hearing. People saying that. So I see people see them trading up. So okay, my 3 team needs are quarterback, offensive line help, and I would go with a receiver. I would go with a receiver. Mo has quarterback, offensive line, and edge.
That's what I said, man.
That's interesting. They just signed Sweat. I think they're pretty good on the defensive side of the ball.
They're okay.
I think
mean,
they're okay, right?
They're okay. I mean, I guess if you don't go edge, I could definitely see wide receiver for me. I mean, offensive line, a wide receiver and offensive line. I think they need both of those.
Yeah.
But man, they don't have too many picks, man.
They don't. And shout out to I was looking at Peter Schrager mock draft. He has them trading down from the 9th, just like you said, to get more picks. But he has them picking a tackle. Which I understand it, right? Because you can get a bomb receiver in the 2nd round. You can get a Coleman in the 2nd. It's this receiver draft deep, man.
Yeah, but they don't pick. Oh, we talking about they trade back. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's if they trade back, or they can draft a receiver with the 9th pick, but they might trade out. I don't know. They're in a good position. But I can see them trading out of that 9th pick to get more picks.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting. But all right, guys, we are out. Thank you for joining us on live. Once again, you can catch us on anywhere you do your podcast. Remember, we always go live Tuesdays around 7:15 p.m. And guys, we are me, Mo, and Craig are watching the NFL draft live. We're gonna be on the whole time the draft is on. We're gonna be live streaming. We're gonna talk about the surprises, the picks, the trades, everything leading up to it. What we think about the prospects, the picks. I can't wait for it. That is next Thursday. Whenever the draft starts. Where's the draft start? The draft start at 8.
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Was just on it starts Thursday. I don't know what time does it start. It just says it starts April 25th. So it starts April 25th, and it's the whole weekend. It was the
I ain't
whole
watched
week.
the whole game, but I watched.
Hey, wouldn't it be crazy if Washington was on the host city? It would have been bomb if the draft was in DC. If the draft was in DC or Virginia, we would have went. I would have went. I would have got tickets. But I think it's free though. I think that's what they said. I think they said the NFL draft is.
I'm not going next year. Either. I think it's in Green Bay or something, right? That's
Yeah, I
not
think
gonna
it's
happen.
in Green Bay. Yeah, I
No,
think it's in Green Bay.
I'll pass.
Yeah, yeah. It's free entry, so it depends on how long first come first serve. So people probably be there for days, camping out early in the morning on a Thursday. They're probably out there all day, probably tailgate. It's probably live. It's probably live. It's gonna be live. So we're gonna see y'all then. Everybody, peace. We are out. Both quarters out. Y'all remember to be safe. Peace.